How's it going everyone, and welcome to a new video here from round 4 of the RTA Virtual Motorsport F4 Championship sponsored by Motorsport.ie. If you missed the previous video of this championship for round 3 around the Red Bull Ring where I had a bit of a different setup, make sure you check that one before we get into this one. But today we are in Wisconsin in America at the American National Park of Speed, which is Road America, one of my favourite tracks on iRacing and one of my favourite tracks in the world. It's one when it comes up in the official races I always look forward to it, and I seem to have pretty decent pace in any kind of car around here, so hopefully we can show that here today and get a few good results. But looking at the standings after that round in Austria, you can see himself down in 31st place, grand total of 7 points, with that 15-point penalty from the opening round in Brazil. But up at the top, Jason Smith takes the championship lead by just 1 point over Ronan Doherty. So it's very close up at the top, and then even down at the bottom around where I am, very close as well. And one or two good results could really catapult you up the standings. So hopefully we can do that here today in Road America. In qualifying here now, and it hasn't really started out too well with all the long straights around here. Tried to get slipstream on my first lap, didn't really work out, felt like I was being held up a little bit, so decided to try and get some clean air then, but just couldn't get a clean lap in, getting off tracks, having little moments, and unfortunately we end up down in P19, 1.8 seconds off pole position of Sean McClemens. And looking back at it, I think even if I just got a clean lap and it wasn't anything special, I could have improved by about half a second, which would have put me on the cusp of a top 10, maybe a top 12, which is a lot better than P19, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can have some race pace and we can move up the field throughout the next 3 races. So getting ready for the lights to go out here for race 1 at Road America. The lights go out from P19 and we get a really good start compared to Zhao, who started alongside us, and Andrew, who we are now alongside, heading down this long pitch straight. Getting into the slipstream of Dermot in the green hard just ahead, but with the slipstream we had a lot more speed. We had to kind of back out of that. Taking it nice and easy into turn 1. Don't want to run into the back of anyone, as Zhao behind seems to be very aggressive, which is nothing new really from a few races I've been around him. Into what is officially turn 3, Dermot taking it a bit handy, which is understandable on lap 1 with front tyres. So we have to check a little bit there. Don't get the greatest run along this middle straight as we head down the hill into what I think is officially turn 6. So we managed to get clear of Zhao, who dives it down the inside. As I said, very aggressive. I decided to just let him go, and I feel like, or I felt like at the time, that I'll eventually get past with him and possibly some others facing the wrong direction. As now he heads after Dermot side by side through the flat out right hander. He goes off the track, and I'm having a bit of luck down the inside of Dermot. Kind of a bit tentative there, didn't want to fully send it as there's a car off on the right hand side, so we take up a position there as Dermot holds it around the outside as the inside for the car itself. So we slot in behind to get the slipstream along what now is the back straight, flat out now from here through the kink and down into Canada corner. Run out of the slipstream because I didn't want to get too close going into the kink, but that upsets my line going through that kink. Run off the track onto the grass. I keep it pinned and luckily I just keep pointing the right direction. Just getting off track, no slow down, but it does allow Andrew Murphy to get alongside us into Canada corner. And up ahead, there's 2 cars off. There was one there that, as I predicted earlier in the lap, I think Zhao crashed into him and kind of caused that one of those incidents. So made the right choice in letting him go past. But we move up 2 positions now as Dermot goes off the track there out of the final corner. Unfortunately we're not close enough to capitalise on that. But come across the finish, lap 1 now. Luckily we managed to survive it and move up into P14. So good, an eventful opening lap, again of 5 positions, and hopefully we can keep building on that. As we skip ahead just a couple of corners now, turn 3 on lap 2. Dermot goes a bit wide on the exit and managed to get alongside, and since we had a better run out of that corner, we had better speed, higher speed, and managed to get that move done as Andrew Murphy in the yellow car in our mirrors decides to take advantage of that as well. Go a bit defensive down the hill, don't want to get overtaken here, but we go a bit wide, and luckily Andrew isn't able to get past, and we hold that position up into P13 behind Zhao now, who, as we've seen, is a bit aggressive and kind of want to treat the rear of his car in the same way as we would treat the rear legs of a booking horse. But we skip ahead now to the last lap of this race, and I stay behind Zhao. We both kind of caught up on this group ahead who were fighting, and now into turn 5, block up ahead, but unfortunately I just carry a bit too much speed, lose the rear end and go for a spin. I think Dermot went completely off the track there to avoid me, and luckily he didn't crash into me, but lose a lot of time there. We lost the place and possibly lost the potential to gain even more places with how much fighting there was going ahead, and unfortunately now we're not going to be able to take advantage of that, and instead we have to keep our eyes in our mirrors as Andrew caught up because of that spin, and now we're coming under pressure from him in the slipstream down into kind of the corner. Take the inside line as that's the easiest to defend. Braking nice and early as there's a spinner up ahead, that is Sergey. Managed to hold off Andrew as now Tony Stack in the green car is right up our behind going through the second to last corner. Luckily the final turn to try and go for a move there is pretty risky, so just focusing on getting a good exit and run up to the line, and luckily we get the slipstream from Sergey to help us defend from Tony. Fortunately we're not able to get past him, but we come across the line to finish race 1 P40, which all in all isn't a terrible result. So in the end it was actually P13 we finished. Somebody must have got a drive through or something on that last lap, so we gained another place. Up 6 positions from where we started, and probably one of my best drives of the season so far. Even with the spin I felt pretty comfortable and more confident than I have in any of the other races so far, which is promising, and hopefully carry that through for the rest of the season. Up at the front, Sean McClemens wins from pole position with the top 4, even with all the slipstreams, all ended up finishing where they started, which is a bit strange, but with that anyway, let's head into race 2. So with the lights just after coming on for the second race here, the lights go out and we get a pretty decent start. Tony Stack behind gets a really good start. I think we're just about going 3 wide on this pit straight into turn 1. That isn't really what you want. We have a slipstream, we get a good run and a lot of space down the inside. I lift off early because I didn't want to carry too much speed on the inside line on lap 1. Unfortunately that caught Sergey out and just ran into the back of me. So lost my rear wing, just trying to stay out of everyone's way here now as we're making our way back to the pits.
You've lost the rear wing.
Any incidents when my car is pretty crippled. And luckily fast repairs are on in RTA, so get back to the pits now, get all repaired, and we rejoin the race in P22. So unfortunate way to start this second race here in Road America. Sergey, he did apologise for that incident in turn 1, which I do appreciate. I didn't report it because I felt like it was kind of a racing incident, even though it's usually on the car behind, not to run into the cars ahead, even if the car ahead does brake a little bit early.
Right side.
There's no point really reporting it. The penalty he would have got for that, I think,
Clear on the right.
justified for the incident that was. So now just trying to make our way around the rest of this race, pick up any freebies from any other incidents that we can have. But we've just been overtaken by Peter McCann on the pit straight at a few moments out of that final corner and throughout the last couple of laps. So haven't really been driving the best, which is kind of hard to focus and drive well when you're down in P20. Few of us here now, self, Peter and Andrew, so maybe we can try and have a bit of a battle between us as Peter makes the move on the run down the hill. I'm in his slipstream, so I think about trying to get the move done as well, but decide to back out of it. Didn't really want to try and do anything there as Peter gets the move done around the outside. I think he does as Andrew slots in behind through this left-hander, which is my least favourite corner on this track, especially in this car. Just in practice, we just kept losing the back end, losing a lot of time there, just didn't really know how to take it. So keeping it clean through there was my only aim throughout these couple of races, which I've managed to do so far. Hopefully we can keep that up. But on to the end of lap 5 here, we managed to keep with Peter and Andrew, and through the final turn, Andrew goes a bit wide there. We get a good line, get a good run with the slipstream, and then try and make a move along the pitch straight and into turn 1. So pull alongside, have a bit of extra speed because of our better run on that base slipstream. As we reach the corner, the speeds kind of even out, and then with the inside line, brake a bit later than Andrew, and then manage to get the move done. Hopefully now we can keep it through turn 3 and on the run down the hill into turn 5. So trying to get a good run through here, which we do. Andrew is still well way in range of the slipstream to try and challenge us back down into turn 5. He pulls alongside, takes the inside line, tries to defend around the outside, brake as late as I dare. Again, a corner where it's easy to lose the back end, but gets the move done very nicely there. Gives a bit of squeeze on the exit as he was fully ahead and gets the position. We're after losing a bit of ground to Peter ahead, which is unfortunate. He is a bit faster than us, and now it is really a fight between myself and Andrew for P19 down the hill here before the carousel. Unfortunately, that fight is going to end as I just lose the rear end a little bit, having a pretty big slide. Luckily we managed to hold it pretty well, but lose a lot of time there, and with just about a lap and a half left, I think that's going to be it for our race here in race 2. But just a lap later at the same corner, Andrew has his own incident, going for a spin. I managed to get that place up into P19 now. Unfortunate for Andrew there, as I have huge respect for anybody that I race against when we're able to race hard and clean just like he did. But it is what it is, and have to take advantage of those when we can. And we cross the line to finish P19 in race 2 to start down the grid for the final race here in Road America. So those 6 positions we gained in race 1, we lost again in race 2, and we're going to start the final race here where we started the first race in P19. Up the front, Jason Smith gaining 2 positions to win the race by just over a tenth of a second from Ronan Doherty. So very close up there, as the top 6 were separated by just 5 seconds. It was close pretty much throughout the field, and if I can just keep it clean for this final race, I think we can still get a really good result here in round 4 of RTA. So for the final time at one of my favourite tracks, the lights go green, and for the 3rd time in a row we've managed to get a really good start. So all my starts have been good here this round, which is a nice thing, but unfortunately into turn 1 we don't have a slipstream and we're not able to get the move done on Finlay Melvin in the red car. Luckily this time we managed to make it through turn 1, all our bits still attached to our car, and I think we're after gaining 1 position so far, which is always nice, and I hope we can try and gain a few more here now, as it looks like we're about to go 3 or maybe 4 wide just ahead of us. I really don't want to have any part of that. I'm just going to sit back, enjoy the view, and hopefully see them all sailing off into the gravel down here. Unfortunately that doesn't happen, but it does a bit further ahead as there's a big incident, and we just about managed to avoid. I think that was Jason Cooper, if I remember correctly, who was stood still in the middle of the track, which isn't the best place to be stopped, but it's always good to just hold your brakes in those situations, be predictable and let everybody else avoid you. I think we lost a couple of positions that we had gained because of that, which is unfortunate, but luckily we're still in this race and we can still fight our way through the field. But up ahead now through the carousel on the right hand side, that is Jack Conaghy going slowly. We managed to get the move done on him. Presumably has some kind of damage, and that's why he's going a bit slow and didn't seem to have complete control of his car. Bit of a repeat of race 1 here now in the slipstream behind Dermot through the kink. We don't go as wide on this occasion, but still getting a bit caught out by the dirty air of the car ahead. And luckily we managed to keep it point in the right direction once again, as that is Sergey unfortunately going for a spin on the outside of Canada corner. So again, another position there as David Prunty and Peter McCann up ahead are having a bit of a fight, slowing each other up, and let myself, Dermot and Emma Dempsey behind me catch up and get involved. Get a good run out of the final corner to end this first lap of the last race. Pull out to the right hand side to try and get a move on Dermot. Unfortunately he managed to get the slipstream of the cars ahead. David did eventually pull out to give me a bit of a tow. Luckily that was just enough to get the move done down the inside of Dermot. Kind of left the door open as now Emma is going side by side with him on the run down here into turn 3, as David gets the move done on Peter, which also kind of leaves the door open for me to try and get a move on the yellow car. Once again, unfortunately, I don't have the slipstream. David does eventually kind of move over, so kind of half and half getting the tow here. Now I think I get a bit more run down the hill. Wasn't too confident down here to brake late to try and get a move, so don't try and hold it around the outside of Peter. Goes for a move down the outside, the inside, sorry, of David. Now up the hill, gets very close there, almost making contact, all three of us. But luckily we managed to survive as David gets that move done for P11, Peter in P12, and myself in P13. And that fight continues going on the back straight down into Canada corner. Peter going down the inside, kind of pushes David a bit wide, so I tried to sneak through. Unfortunately the room wasn't really there, and David with the outside line had a bit more speed. As we're coming under a bit of pressure from Emma, as now into the final corner, just trying to focus on getting a good exit onto the pit straight. Unfortunately we just cut the inside corner a bit too much, clip the grass a bit and go for a spin unfortunately, and lose a handful of positions there. And it's such a long straight here that the whole way down now we're going to continue to lose time. So really unfortunate that that happened there, since we were in a good position to try and get a good result, and we're having a good little battle there with the guys around us. Just going to have to keep our head down now and continue to try and claw back a few positions and get a couple of points. But on the pitch straight into turn 1 to start lap 4. Decide to let Luke Cooper go. Wasn't really too interested in fighting. Just wanted to see if we could work together to try and catch up to a couple of cars ahead. As you saw there, his connection doesn't seem to be the best. Bit of blinking, so hopefully that doesn't catch us out while we're too close behind him, which luckily it hasn't so far. We've stuck behind for about 2 laps now, and we've caught up to Zhao, who is just ahead. And I decided now, out of the carousel through the kink, we're close enough that I wanted to try and get past Luke, so I could have the first chance to try and get past Zhao and make up 2 positions. So on the run through the sweeping turns down into Canada corner, we take the outside line, brake nice and late as we dare, and carry the speed around the outside. Luke holds up well on the inside, and then through the second to last corner, flat out and manage the whole position. Luckily we don't come together, racing room left by both of us, so a lot of respect shown there. And now we set our sights on trying to get past Zhao. We're up into P16 now because of a few incidents for a couple of others, and we're going to get another position there as Sean McClemens from up near the front. He was in 4th there, and had a bit of them coming together and had to wait for pretty much the whole field to go past there. So up into P15 now, and then very quickly up into P14 as Emma Dempsey seems to have some kind of issue herself. But on the end of lap 6, about the start lap 7, we are well within striking range of Zhao Castro, with both defensive, taking the inside line into turn 1. I think we've gained a couple of positions there from a few people having issues and having to get towed to the pit. Into turn 1, try to carry it around the outside, but as I saw myself, it's easy to defend or overtake down the inside. Shall make a bit of contact there. I feel like I was still a little bit alongside. He kind of squeezed me on the exit of turn 3. A bit of a slide, clipping the grass, just like I did on the final turn in the previous race. We can get a good run down the hill into turn 5. He's getting very close on the run down here and with the inside line. I've seen what he's been like throughout these races, so I decided to leave
Clear.
a lot of room there as I didn't want to be squared off and out of this race. So he holds position there as now Luke Cooper is rejoining this fight, making it a 3-horse race for a top 12 position. Skipping ahead then, fast forwarding through the carousel, we get really close to Zhao, who had a bit of an issue with the car before, and try and get a good run on the run down through the kink, but it doesn't really work out, and Luke behind gets a really good run. He has a look down the inside of the kink, which isn't really somewhere you want to be overtaken, and had to leave room there and run off the track for the third time in this event. Now into Canada corner, or side by side, under braking. Luke, he just kind of turns over to the left a bit where I was. I didn't have anywhere to go. Make wheel-to-wheel contact. Luckily, I don't get any damage and keep going. Unfortunately for Luke,
your front wing is damaged. You might get understeered due to lost downforce. Clear. We got damage on the front end.
The final turn. Kind of upset my line through the final turn. Get a really bad run. And Sean, one of the quickest drivers in RTA, not really going to fight it too hard. He's probably going to overtake me at some stage eventually, so no point losing too much time.
Clear.
Let him through and hope that we can stay in the slipstream for as long as we can. He can drag us ahead to some of the cars in front of us and make up a few more places. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Just made a few too many mistakes, and Sean managed to get away. After that, my focus switched to just trying to stay ahead of Rory O'Shea, who was behind, and just keep him at arm's length. But as we come up to finish race 3 here, Sean actually had to go into the pits to serve a drive-through penalty. So we get another position there. After a very eventful race, we'll cross the line and finish P11.
There's the flag. It's over.
So to be totally honest, I don't really know how I ended up finishing in 11th, up 8 places from where I started, and considering I didn't feel like I drove too well and some things didn't really go my way, getting just on the edge of a top 10, my best result so far in this championship, I would definitely take it. One thing to note is Jason Cooper, who was spun out on lap 1 if you remember, ended up climbing all the way back up into P3, so great drive for him. Peter McCann, who started alongside us up in P4, have the likes of David and Dermot up in 8 and 9 too. I feel like I'm around the same pace as, so although P11 is a good result, I feel like there was probably more in this race for me, but I have to take what I can get. I didn't drive the best, and getting a result like that, I would definitely take it. And what that means for the standings is we are now up into P26, 36 points, and so close to not having to put that gap in the standings graphic, which hopefully we'll be able to get into the top 25 and try and get towards our target of a top 15 in the last couple of rounds. Halfway through the season now, and I feel like my position doesn't really show what my pace has been like. I feel like I've been quick at times, just inconsistent, and then bad luck, just getting involved in incidents that I shouldn't really be getting involved in. Jason Smith holds the championship lead, extending it by a couple of points over Ronan Doherty, and still very close up at the top and throughout the field. So still a lot to play for in the second half of this championship. But that is it for round 4 here from Road America. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. But until next time, slán go fóill agus fiú go maith.